Hi guys, I hope you're all safe and well. It's Mitch here. I'm just coming on to do this Monday's guidance reading. I just want to say before I conduct the reading itself, a massive thank you to everybody that came to see me over at the Sherborne demonstration of mediumship that happened on this Saturday just gone. It was an absolutely beautiful night of mediumship. It was a really powerful night, and yeah, just if you were part of that, if you came to that, thank you so much. There was so much love, there was so much magic in the room, and it was really good for me on a personal level, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've been struggling a little bit mentally, just in the sense of, I've been ill so much, and it gets even the strongest of minds a bit brought down when you're constantly picking up bugs when you work in the public arena and things of this nature. And I must admit, I was sort of having a conversation with Spirit the other day, and I said, right, if I'm meant to still be doing this work, if I'm still meant to be following this path, make tonight great, give me a sign that this is where I'm meant to be, because I've been questioning and thinking, shall I just retire and shall I just get a job down like one of the local pubs? And it's not because I don't want to sort of work and serve for Spirit. It's just when you're empathic, when you work with the spirit world, you feel things on such a deep level, and unless you do it, it can be quite hard to explain. And it can be such a beautiful gift, and it can be so amazing and so enriching, but it can be bloody exhausting. And it doesn't matter how much protection you put in place and everything else, sometimes it can just be exhausting. And I know a lot of people have said, oh, you take on too much work, you take on too much responsibility. And actually, I don't. I know my limits. I know, the amount I can comfortably take on before I, crash and burn. I know what I can do, and I know what's beyond my control. And I worked in a corporate environment for over sort of, 13 years, and I did crash and burn in that. So I know from a mental space what is in my capacity and what isn't. But what was amazing with the Sherborne show was Spirit were just on fire. There was so much evidence. And even though, yes, I'm the communicator, I always know it comes from a higher place. I always know it comes from the spirit world. It's never me directly. And that was just such an amazing night. It was such a humbling night. And what was also great is for a lot of people, they could take, so even though I was delivering a message for like one person, there were like multiple other people in the room that could take that message because they also knew that person. I've had so many messages, private messages from people saying, thank you so much. And we could take that message. We also know who that person was. And I love it when Spirit bring through not just a piece of validation, but double validation or triple validation, because it really does show that eternal connection lives on. And I just think, it's in those moments that it's like a bit of a slap round the face, and it's like, Mitch, this is what you're meant to be doing. Get your shit together and crack on, basically. And I needed that spirit slap, and Sherborne was that for me. So it was a beautiful night, but it was a personal spirit slap for me. So don't worry, guys, I'm not planning to retire. I'm not hanging up my witchy broomstick or my tarot cards just yet. But I am hoping that I'm through the worst of these bugs now, because that has been really getting me down. Because I've been really ill, and I'm someone that is a bit of a workaholic. So for me, having to stop, having to pause, that doesn't come naturally. I find that quite alien, and it's quite an uncomfortable feeling for me, because not just with this work, but in any job I've had, I've always been a workaholic. It's a Capricorn thing. So, it's very alien to sort of have to keep stopping and starting, to keep messing around and letting people down, because it just doesn't come natural. So thank you guys for bearing with me. Sorry, this has turned into a little bit of a chatty ramble, hasn't it? Anyway, let's get back into Monday. Let's look into the cards and let's see what's happening for this week. Now, because there has been so much illness and so much shedding, and I really feel, just very quickly, I think it's an energetic shedding a lot of us are going through, particularly those that are sensitive. It's shedding this old stuff, and it's bringing things back to the surface that are already been healed, but maybe we need to go deeper with. So I think for a lot of us that are in tune with energy, we have been quite ill, we have been quite run down, we have been quite burnt out, because I do feel there's a big energetic download, and it's clearing, it's shedding, it's releasing all the crap, ready for a big gear shift that not everybody is going to go on. And without making this negative, this is why some people are transitioning quite young. You'll have noticed recently, and I've had this conversation with a few people, there's a lot of people passing essentially what feels like before their time, because as we're going up to a higher gear shift, some people are not able to handle that vibration. So yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, the deck I wanted to work with this week, which I thought was quite befitting, because this is all about honouring and looking at the shadow side of life. And this deck was introduced to me actually from one of my students in my student group that's connected with this deck. So it's called Tarot of the Abyss, and it is by Anne Torian. So this is the deck. It's a really, really cool deck, this one. So these are the cards. So let's give them a knock. Let's give them a shuffle. Let's see what the message is for this Monday and the coming week ahead. And I just want to say as well, I've had a few other humbling experiences that have really given me that spirit slap. Another one was happening on Thursday, is it the 16th? I did write it down, one sec. Yeah, happening on Thursday the 16th of May. I have been asked to work alongside two absolutely beautiful mediums, Louise and Michelle, and they are putting together their Psychic Prosecco tour, which is going to be amazing. And they've asked me to be a guest medium, to have a guest spot on their opening night, which is going to be over in Bristol, at the Hannam Community Hall, which I have done that venue before in the past. So I feel really honoured that they have actually asked me to sort of work alongside them. And that means a lot as a medium, because it's not just asking me, it's also, you know, when you put your connection or your name with any medium, you know, when you work full time, that's a massive responsibility. It's not just a responsibility to serve spirit, but it's a responsibility to do the girls well as myself. So I actually feel really honoured they entrust me enough with my work to want me to sort of, you know, work alongside them. So that's going to be a really special night. So tickets for that are going to be on sale very soon. So that's another little, you know, piece of, come on, this is what you're meant to be doing. So yeah, I've really been kicked up the arse this weekend, guys, like in a big way. Anyway, let's get back to this Monday. Oops, and let's just see what we need to know about. So channeling these cards for the highest of good. Oops, I will know, because one will literally pop itself at me. Like that. Okay, interesting. So we are going into the energies of the Knight of Swords. So when the Knight of Swords shows, this is all about kind of really looking carefully at what you need to battle. It's really looking at, do we need to battle it? Do we need to kind of actually go in guns blazing? Can we pull back our power? Can we just sever? Can we detach? Now, when the swords always show, they tend to represent our mental thoughts and feelings. So I actually see this Knight of Swords. It's quite interesting what I've been talking about, you know, this spirit sort of slap and bit of reality check. And I think maybe this is what the Knight of Swords is offering for quite a few of us. So this week you're being encouraged to choose your battles carefully, whether those are physically happening around you or whether those are sort of matters of the mind. And if you've been feeling sort of vulnerable, if you've been in a space that's been a bit fragile, own it, acknowledge it, which I've literally had to do recently, as I know a lot of other people have. But it's also, don't stay stuck in that, you know, and it's allow yourself, give yourself permission to move out of that. Give yourself permission to have a better quality experience. So Knight of Swords, sometimes we do need to protect, sometimes we do need to honour, and sometimes we do need to defend ourselves. But sometimes the loudest words we can say are that of silence. And sometimes actually, by just staying in our truth, by just staying in our lane, by just doing our thing, we regain our power, we regain our focus, we regain our magic, and we stay aligned to our own spiritual journey. And I just feel for some people, they've been getting quite triggered lately, because this can be about feeling quite triggered and quite overwhelmed. And I think it's also remembering you're in competition with nobody, you know, and if all you kind of did today was get up and actually face the day, that's a massive achievement, that's a massive victory. You know, sometimes we put so much pressure or deliverance or expectation upon ourselves to be more than we can be. And I think it's about all of us just going gentle, just being at peace and celebrating those little wins, those little victories, and not kind of feeling like we have to keep battling or we have to keep surrendering our soul. So Knight of Swords is quite interesting. It's quite an interesting time. It's a fragile time, and I think it also makes sense with the shedding. We've also literally just had the full snow moon, which is all about cleansing, clearing, healing, releasing, letting go. It can be intention setting as well, but it's a big thing about letting things go. So this is going to be an interesting week, I think. We could be in for still a little bit of a roller coaster, but essentially be accountable for how you handle, how you dictate the energy, how you respond to things, because Knight of Swords doesn't have to get caught up in battle. That's only if we choose to take it into that space. So I hope you can make sense of this. I'm going to leave this card with you. Stay well, stay safe, stay fabulous. Just a very quick shout to say that this coming Saturday, I'll be over at Wincanton at the War Memorial Hall, doing Amy Michelle's fabulous spiritual fair. I just have 2 spaces left for private one-to-one readings, which is 10 o'clock and 10:30. If you want to book those spaces up, drop me a message and we can get you booked in. So I'm really excited for that. Just a reminder as well, tour dates are flying out now. Tickets are really kind of going on sale, being sort of supported, which is great. So the next date of the tour, we got Saturday the 16th of March. I am going to be at the West Pennard Village Hall, which is just outside of Glastonbury. Really excited, really looking forward to that. So do book a ticket for that if you'd like to come along and see me there. And also I've got coming up Saturday the 23rd of March, I'm over at Bath Mill Lodge Retreat, which is very fancy, very posh, but very lovely. And I think there's about 25 tickets left for that if you're interested. So have a cool week, look after yourselves, and thank you once again for all the love, all the support. I am going to keep serving spirit, so none of you have to worry about that. But yeah, I think sometimes we have to just own those moments of vulnerability. And where I've been so ill, I really have been sort of, you know, mentally processing a little bit of stuff. But thank you for all the love. Like I say, the spirit sort of date in Sherborne was just amazing. It was just so beautiful. And I just feel very honoured to have been able to sort of be part of that experience, really. So look after yourselves, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.